So these picks are kind of getting a bit ridiculous, guys. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gore, and we are back for another week of college football picks. And I can't wait to flush last week's down the toilet because it was not worthy of even discussing. So long story short, 3-7, one of my worst weeks I think ever. Lost a couple of games late, lost Missouri late, stuff like that. Notre Dame got ran over. They just looked like a tired football team. So and got obviously nearly everything wrong last week. So, you know, we've got a few more weeks to go in the regular season, and we look forward to bowl games and pick'ems and all that fun stuff. So, unless I really nail it the rest of this year, I'm just not going to like where I end up, at least for the regular season. But with that said, it's a brand new week and 10 more picks to at least try to get right. So here we go. As usual, guys, give me a like, drop me a comment, let me know what you think about anything so far in college football during the season, and obviously subscribe for more weekly content. And without further ado, here are the picks for this week. As you can see, 31 and 29. It is not a pretty picture. I'm not happy about it, but we've got to try to do something a little bit different. And winning is a bit different for me so far. So let's try and get some of that done. When I looked through the slate this week, some ranked matchups. Again, another opportunity for some separation in the SEC, in the Pac-12 in particular this weekend. So we'll kind of go through that as we go along here. I'm going to start out where I am. I've kind of looked through this initially already. I'm going to go to college basketball, basically, and I'm going to basically take the college basketball blue bloods and put them at the top here. So I'm going to stick with Duke as my number 10 here at home against NC State. They were very game against Notre Dame. They were competitive. I don't know what the status of Riley Leonard is. I don't really think it matters in this game. I guess he's probably not going to play, right? Because that injury looked like it was pretty serious, and he was in the boot. So, give me Duke here. I don't think it matters, Riley Leonard or not. NC State's offense just is a hold your nose to watch type thing. So I'm going to take Duke. I'm going to leave them there as the 10-pointer and move on. My next game, I'm going to take Kansas here on the road. I like Kansas. I've liked them all year long, really. Jalen Daniels, unfortunately, he just can't stay healthy. He's been out of the lineup. But Jason Bean is a capable backup, right? And he's able to move the offense, almost just as good, right? And Oklahoma State's offense is not this is not the same Oklahoma State team traditionally. When I think Oklahoma State, right, I think like they're always competitive defensively, and the offense is able to put points up on the board. Not really sure what this kind of team is. They're not either. And they still play solid defensively, but the offense has really soured. It's been a struggle for them to put up points. So give me Kansas. Give me the more explosive team. I know it's on the road, and I've been burned a ton by picking road teams, but what can I do? I don't see Oklahoma State staying in this game with Kansas's firepower. The next of the blue bloods that I'll be picking is Kentucky over Missouri. I'm pretty pissed off at Missouri. I thought I had a nice little upset pick there last week against LSU, and they blew it late. They just stunk up the joint in the fourth quarter. So give me Kentucky. I don't think Kentucky is as good as they were versus Florida, and I don't think they are as bad as they were versus Georgia. Right? I think it falls somewhere in between, and in a matchup like this one is favorable to them. They can pound it. They can do what they want to do. They can play solid, play really well defensively against a talented Missouri offense, but I think they'll be able to run the ball, and then that sets everything up for them. So give me the other college basketball blue blood, Kentucky. I'm just going down the college basketball route this week, trying to pick up some wins. I am going to stay with the blue bloods here, and I'm going to take North Carolina against Miami, and I will just spend a minute on Miami just to get my thoughts out there. Look, I know he owned up to it, but owning up to it really it's not enough, right? You can't make that bad of a coaching blunder in that game when all you have to do is just kneel on the ball and you choose to do something other than that, I, I don't want. I care whether the offensive coordinator called the play. I don't care what the situation is. You are the head coach. You are the guy responsible ultimately. There is no conceivable way you do anything in that spot other than kneel on the ball. Shame on him. And he tried in the post game to say, I don't know I forget what he said, but just tried to excuse it and then owned up to it during the week. What an unbelievable blunder. But aside from that, like, it's unacceptable, right? It's like a fireable offense almost in a way. Mario Cristobal tries to be this tough guy and mean mugging and bring the attitude and the swagger, and then you do that. I mean, come on, that kind of takes your credibility out the window a little bit. Aside from that, though, Miami should have never been in a close game with Georgia Tech. This is the thing with Miami. Like, they play well a couple of weeks, and then they throw in these clunkers where that shouldn't have been a game. That shouldn't have been a competitive game to begin with. So I'll take North Carolina here. The thing I'll say about North Carolina, the offense is the offense, and I'm glad that the wide receiver is deemed eligible because shame on the NCAA. What a disgrace that was. And then they tried to blame North Carolina for its second hit. Just get the fuck out of here, just stop it. So I'm happy the kid's playing. I'm happy he's been ruled eligible. It's too late in the game. He should have been just reinstated immediately, but that's another thing. The thing about North Carolina is that they're playing better defensively this time around. So I I really like this North Carolina team, and I will take them to get the win at Miami. Not at Miami, at home. So there we go. There's the Blue Bloods: Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, North Carolina at the top, and then we'll kind of go on to the remaining games here. I'm kind of having a bit of trouble with some of these. I will take James Madison again. I'll go back to the James Madison well at home against Georgia Southern. It's a good Georgia Southern team. They're coached by Clay Helton, so you might remember him from USC. They can play offense. They can throw the ball around. But again, I'll just go back to the well. Again, not super well versed in watching either of these teams this year, but James Madison at home, very good defense. I'll take them and put some points on them as well. Go back to the well where I've got some points off them before. Where am I going from here? It's getting a bit tougher for me. I am going to take a good underrated Marshall team, I guess. I'm a little uneasy putting 5 points on this game, but I'll take Marshall here against Georgia State. They showed up and played well at NC State, and like I said last week, Marshall tends to be this team that flies under the radar, but they're always fairly solid. And I know, that was a Doc Holliday thing. I know Doc Holliday's no longer there, but the tradition continues with Marshall, so I'll just take him on the road here. Again, not super well versed, but give me Marshall on the road. And honestly, it just buys me a little time because I'm just struggling with these last 4 games, honestly. I guess what I'll do is I'll leave Oregon State UCLA in the number 4 slot. I'm going to take Oregon State at home. I've been a little, I'd have to look back, but it's just, the Pac-12 has kind of cannibalized itself a little bit. I kind of agree with the narrative that there are a lot of good teams, and even the teams that maybe aren't ranked are still good. It's just a shame, man, that the Pac-12 is going out like this. They could easily be taking a year like this and moving it forward and becoming like a major part of the story for the next couple of years in college football, and it's all dissolving. Give me a really good Oregon State team at home. I've seen UCLA on the road before. I picked them on the road before and got burned. I like them. I think these are 2 very good teams, but the freshman quarterback on the road, UCLA is going to play good defense. But Oregon State, just a well-rounded, well-balanced team. They're a very, very solid group, and DJU is playing pretty darn good. He's under the radar now out west, but he's playing pretty good football. So give me the good Oregon State team at home. I'm gonna take the big game here next. I'm gonna take Washington in the big game against Oregon. 2 contrasting styles, right? Washington wants to throw it down the field, stretch the field, look flashy, look brilliant, look amazing. right? They style it up on you. It's a really fun offense to watch. They're loaded, talent everywhere, and Oregon wants to bring that physical, run heavy, bring the physicality type style. This is going to be, I mean, an incredibly fun game for me. It's, I guess, whichever team can dictate the pace, right? If Washington can air it out, well, they're going to have the upper hand, obviously. If the game becomes a bit of a slugfest, a bit of a ground and pound type deal, Oregon is going to have the upper hand there. I think it's going to be a tight one. I think it's going to be a competitive one. And man, it's going to be a fun one for me to watch. I'll lean Washington and just throw a couple of points on them because I don't feel great about these other two games. Um, I am going to give a slight lean here to USC against Notre Dame because obviously Notre Dame's been playing a lot of nationally televised games, big games, important games. And last week they looked like a team that was tired. They looked like they had caught up with them. The offense, for as talented as it is, they don't really put up a lot of points lately. They've been kind of stalled out a bit. And like I say, watching them against Louisville, I mean, Louisville really put the pressure on them with their offense with Jeff Brom, and they just at the end of the game they just looked tired. They just looked like they had enough, and they come right back with another game though. So it's I don't know, maybe dare I say this could be like USC big. I mean I don't believe in USC's defense at all, right? So maybe this is a get right situation for Notre Dame's offense, but I just like the overall firepower of USC on offense a little bit more. I don't trust their defense at all, so maybe this game is a bit more higher scoring. But give me USC. I'll take like I say, defensively they're not gonna put up much of a fight. But I just think, like I say, Notre Dame just looks like the tank is running close to empty. So that leaves me with this last game here, and what a tough game for me to pick, right? Because I do think while Tennessee is a solid team, right? This is not Hendon Hooker and not Jalen Hyatt and not all these receivers. It's just not the same Tennessee team. And Texas A&M, to be fair, um, they're playing pretty well on defense, and the offense is doing enough. Like they've got. I'm tempted here. I am. I'm tempted, so I think I'm just going to do it. I'll go take Texas A&M with the road upset at Tennessee. Like it's just not exactly. If this were last year's Tennessee team, this wouldn't really be a thought for me. And if it was last year's Texas A&M team, it wouldn't be a thought for me. But it's a bit of a different story for both teams this year, and I'll take Texas A&M maybe in a slight upset, and we'll see what happens. So that's kind of it for the pick'em section. I do have two games extra. I just wanted to mention for you guys real quick. Arkansas at Alabama. This game is traditionally a close game, right? Like most, it's a rivalry. Obviously, it's a big game. The problem, though, this time around is Arkansas they're just not playing very well defensively. And look, Alabama's offense is not exactly anything to write home about this particular version. But Jalen Milroe, I think, can do enough with throwing the deep balls. He's very inconsistent. Like there's a very specific set of things that Jalen Milroe can do well, and then everything else he doesn't do well at all. But I don't think that's going to matter in this game because Arkansas is just struggling so much on the defensive side of the ball. But I just wanted to give a call to the rivalry. And maybe, it's a throw the record out type situation, and maybe Arkansas can hang in there a little bit and maybe capture on Jalen Milroe's inconsistency. But in the end, I'll take Alabama to win this game. And then the only other one, like it's outside of the pick'ems, it's not too strong of a slate this week. So the other one I just wanted to give a call to was Arizona and Washington State. If you watched the game late last weekend, Arizona gave USC everything they could possibly handle. It was, really, a better, maybe more veteran team would have probably beat USC in that situation. But Arizona, they really played well. They hung in there. Lost it, in the overtime with I thought it just a really bad play call at the end there. Their 2-point conversion play that they got stuffed on was not a very good play call at all. But they're a solid team, and their offense is pretty good. And I remember they were using the backup quarterback last week because Jaden Delore is hurt. Then the freshman came in and went in there into USC and played really, really well. So, there's future. The future outlook for Arizona looks bright. This is a tough place, though. Obviously, Washington State at home. It's they've been really, really tough there this year. Same story, right? The offense it plays really well, and it's like I say, Washington State at home is a pretty safe bet. So just wanted to give a call there on that game as well, and that's going to do it for the pick'em, guys. It's Duke 10, Kansas 9, Kentucky 8, North Carolina 7, James Madison 6, Marshall 5, Oregon State at 4, Washington at 3, USC at 2, and the Texas A&M upset on a 1. A lot of Pac-12. It's just a shame, man. It's just an absolute shame that the Pac-12 is going away after this year, because it's going to be a good one for them. Thank you guys very much for watching. Drop me a like, hit me with a comment, and hit me with a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.